Hello everyone, my name is Priyal Kulkarni. In today's lectures, we are discussing about the Ubicom challenges to the privacy. In the Ubicom computing systems, there are two main questions to maintain the privacy. That is, what is that makes the ubiquitous computings the any different from the other computers science domains with respect to the privacy? And the second one is, why should the scientists and the engineers in this particular domain be any more the concerned with such freedoms and the privacy? So we are discussing about that in this lecture. And at the introduction part, the ubiquitous devices are ideally suited for convert the operations and illegal surveillance and the informations provided by the many sensors to the acquire the knowledge about the context, and these sensors can be invisible to the users. The sensors gathering the informations about the people without being noticed and can be the threat to the privacy. There are the five main parts in the challenge to maintain the privacy, that is the collections scale and then manners and motivations as well as the data type and the data accessibility. There is main challenge is the ultimate coverage, then the loss of awareness, then the more knowledge through the context, and the new data type of the locations, health, habits, etc. And the privacy challenge too is the privacy is greatly complicated by the ubiquitous computing and the mechanisms such as the location tracking, the smart spaces, and the use of surrogates that monitors the user's actions on an almost continuous basis. As the users becomes more dependent on the ubiquitous computing, the systems becomes more knowledgeable about the users' movements, behaviors, patterns, and the habits. Like as we know that in the smart clothing, there is a conductive textiles and the ink so that the print electrically active patterns directly onto the fabric and the sensor based on the fabrics, example the monitor pulse, blood pressures, body pressures, the invisible collar microphones and the integrated small cameras. And in the youth clothing there are some the game consoles on the sleeves, that is the integrated GPS driven locators. And the data in the ubiquitous computing. In ubiquitous computing, data is changing continuously, and the ubiquitous processing will expand the determine of the hard cen- certain its past traditional data composes like the smart shirts and the cell phones with the GPS locators as we learned before. And the data mining permits the researchers and the government's officials and the advertisers to comprehend the unique data and the available the location data. This is the one type of the data type, like, and the main that it is the active bad data. In the available location data there is the active bad data. In that active bad data, this data was chosen in the preference to more the recent data gathering activities within the laboratory of the communication engineering. The raw dataset contains over the 10 million location events. The several filters were applied to remove the location events which are from the bat not attached to the personals. The recorded outside the weekdays between the 9 to 5 p.m. outside the constraints of the first floor of the building, the plan view of the building. And the one more type of the data type is the available in the hospitals, like the deploying the pervasive technologies in the hospitals and the hospital applications, the coordinates to the operations in the large hospital intents and the eye hospital systems and the diabetes self care. This is one of the type of that data That is, the application assists the users take the well-information decisions on the daily drug doses to maintain the stable glucose level, so that the glucose level in that person's, he can monitor that glucose level of blood, and monitors the user locations, activities, recognize the past behavior, augmented the blood glucose data with the context data. And the goal not just to replace the paper methods with the phone as recording the devices. And the specific challenges in the health, that is the classification of events like eating, exercise, etc., detecting the which events affect the blood glucose levels and the life as recurring the patterns, and find the correlations between the time, place data and the type of the activities. They use correlations to find the similar past situations. Since the system uses the only available sensors on the phones, the users input food intakes and insulin doses, and the synchronizes with the glucose meters to obtain the blood glucose level, and determining the locations using the GSM cellular data, that is determining the activities type by learning the training and the online user feedback. This is one of the main challenge in the healthcare systems. And there are the data types, so many data types in the hospitals, locations, habits, etc. And with a wide cluster of the new sensors and the actuations mechanisms, the ubiquitous computing technology will permit the deducing the delicate prattle of the old in the hard certainties of today's, to focus on the actualities, not on the gossips. And for example, the servicing our emotional connections to our partner, on our pulse rate, and also on our eyes flickering rate. This is one of the type of the data types. Thank you.